Muy buenas noches y bienvenidos nuevamente a Tiempo de Mercadeo. Yo soy Carlos Fernando Villa y en esta oportunidad vamos a hacer un programa con un invitado internacional. Hace unos días estuvo en nuestra ciudad Harvey Hirsch. Él es considerado por muchas empresas como el número 1 en el mundo en el manejo de comunicaciones directas en mercadeo. La Xerox Corporation lo ha determinado así y lo ha premiado como el mejor comunicador directo en mercadeo en el mundo. Estuvo, repito, de visita en nuestra ciudad y lo invitamos a nuestro programa en la noche de hoy. Con él vamos a dialogar dentro de un momentico. Ya volvemos. Harvey, good evening, and it's an honor to have you in my program and to have you in our city.
Oh, it is an honor for me to be here on your program in this wonderful city of Medellin.
I'm glad you are saying that because I'm going to begin by asking you, how have you liked our city?
I have learned so much being in your city. I've learned that social programs work when everybody believes in them, that there's a chance for everybody to succeed in Medellin, that the people are just filled with so much warmth and love and kindness that the whole world has to look at Medellin and try to emulate what they have done.
Did you ever think that you were going to find such a city like Medellin when you were asked to come here for the conference you just dictated?
No. Everybody says, what are you bringing, a gun? What are you bringing, a vest? Where's your bodyguard? Well, I could say that, yes. My heart was kidnapped by the beautiful people of Medellin, and I fell in love with this town and everybody in it.
Well, thank you, Harvey. I'm glad you are saying that. And now let's talk about marketing.
Marketing.
Yeah. What's new when we talk about direct marketing communications? Because you have some procedures that you have patent, and I'd like you to tell everybody what you have.
Okay. In direct marketing, there's two ways of doing direct marketing. There's the old way, which involves the mass communications theories and technologies of the 60s, which are newspapers, magazines, and television. And then there's the new way, working with databases, learning about your customers and approaching them on a one-to-one marketing basis, because one size does not fit all anymore.
Has to be a mix.
It has to be directed at the person that you are looking for. And what I've been experimenting with and testing is the ability to actually create products on demand as you need them by parsing a database. So if you have 100 names and 30 are women, you create the message specifically for women and specifically for men. And you could do that with digital printing today.
With digital printing, you say?
Digital printing is the way of the future.
And how expensive it is?
Digital printing, when you use it correctly, is the most efficient way to get new business.
You are working. You told me that you are working on an ebook that is going to be called 7 Steps to...
7 Secrets for Promoting Your Brand That Won't Cost You Anything. A step-by-step guide to do what I do.
Is that true? It's just a title that doesn't cost anything.
Oh no, it's actually 10, 12 free things that you could do. You have Facebook, you have Google. Google is the world's largest search engine. And if you know how to feed Google, you're going to come up there in every single search on page 1 for an organic look.
And you have some work that you have performed for Zeros and some other companies. Would you like to talk about them?
Sure. I launch products in competitive marketplaces. I look at myself as a media terrorist.
Oh yeah, I remember that. You told me.
My job...
What's a media terrorist?
A media terrorist is somebody that goes into a marketplace and kills all the competition. I just kill them because my technology is so advanced, I'm able to do something that they don't even know exists.
Where's that?
Well, I'll show you. So in 2006, this piece was voted by Xerox as the best in the world in their annual Pixie Awards. And what it is, it's a mailer for an ink company, but it's made digitally. And what I was able to do is make a full color envelope, merge data to personalize it, and then using my technology to actually make a three-dimensional personalized origami fish. And the whole piece is personalized. And it generated an astounding 50% response out of only 227 pieces.
50% response.
50% response.
That's too high.
That's not high enough. I've generated 80% response. The future is putting a name where people don't expect it to be. Have you ever seen anything like that?
Well, not to be honest. Wow. And then, let's show it to everybody. Here you put your name. You take it. Oh. And now, what now?
Nothing, nothing.
Nothing. Okay, and here is your name. And here is the explanation or whatever you want to explain to the people.
Correct. And if you take your list, then you write copy for this segment, and you change it for this segment,
Right.
and
you personalize it,
and you make it relevant to each different segment of that database.
Okay. And then what's next? After you know they receive these, what are they supposed to do?
Well, the sales force I train to follow up on the mailing piece. So when they call, they say, I mailed you that fish. I just want to make sure you got it. And everybody goes, oh yes, you mailed that? That's amazing. How can I do that with my equipment? So it's important to get all your communications emotional. If you don't get to the frontal cortex at the receiver, you fail.
Yeah, communication has to be more emotional than rational.
Absolutely. You must get them emotional.
You have to mix them, but they have to be more emotional.
Everything you do has to have an emotional feeling to it. I like to make people laugh. I like them to interact. So when I get a database, I look and I say, okay, there's 30 women here that are decision makers. Why should they get one size fits all? And knowing what women like, then I'm able to create a butterfly mailer.
Because you know that they like butterflies.
Most women do like butterflies, and they go, oh.
But you get that information from the database, or you get it from common sense?
Well, I'm old enough to know common sense, and I'm old enough to know that this works for women, that they're going to open it up and laugh and smile, and then piranha for men. So when the men get this, it looks like piranha in a fish tank. And they have to open it up, and they have to stick their hand in there, and a little piranha jumps out at them. And it makes them laugh. And if you make people laugh, you own them.
Javi, we're going to go to a commercial break and we'll be right back, okay?
Sure.
Vamos a ir a una tanda de comerciales, recordándoles a ustedes que el Hotel Dan Carton Medellín está considerado como uno de los mejores hoteles y por eso lo recomendamos ampliamente para los programas. Okay, Harvey, what else can we tell everybody? Can we show everybody about your job?
One of the problems with direct marketing is the rectangle.
Why is that a problem?
Well, the problem is that it's common and it doesn't have excitement in it, and it limits your creativity because you have to work around type and you have to work around illustrations, and just getting a doesn't excite you.
Yeah, maybe people throw it away as soon as they get it.
Oh, in America, the national response rate is 1/10 of 1%.
That's nothing.
99.9% fails. So I looked at direct mail and I said, how can I make that different? And I figured out how to make shaped postcards. So I could send somebody one fish, I could send somebody 5 fish, and it's going to interrupt their day and make them smile. So when I call them up and I say, I've been sending you fish, did you get them? They always go, oh, these are amazing, how could I use them? So one of the things I've done is figure out how to make a shape and personalize it. Okay, so that's very important. And it allows me to...
Isn't that too expensive to get those fish or something like that?
Actually, no, because...
You have to have a mold for that?
I make what's called a template. If you want a die-cut shape, you usually have to print 500 or 1,000. Make a die and cut them. I have a patent in 8 countries that allows me to die cut first and then run it through a small digital copier and print 1 or 1,000. But you don't need more than 50, because what I have enabled myself to do is have 70 different templates. So on Monday, I could send a fish. On Tuesday, I could send a sofa. On Wednesday, I could send one of these. And at the end of the week, they've gotten 4 or 5 different items, all addressed to them with messages that are relevant to what they're doing, and they always get on the phone with me. 90% closing rate. That's pretty good.
And you're also working with your personal cards.
Oh, yes. There's something free called augmented reality. Let me give you a demonstration.
Okay. Augmented reality, that's something that is going on in everywhere you go.
Well, it started with QR codes. A QR code, a quick response code, was taking you from print to an internet site. But augmented reality tells you, talks to you, cajoles you, makes you want to see something. So I had this special card printed up to come down here for the conference. And what happens is all smartphones and iPads, like this one, you can download a free program called Orasma, and when you place it over the card...
Hi, my name is Harvey. If you're not getting the proper results...
Let's see if we can see that.
Hi, my name is Harvey. If you're not getting the proper results from your direct marketing campaign, start employing 20%. That button to really find out what I'm talking
And that's your personal card?
That's one of my cards, yes.
And you just made it for the conference here in Medellin?
I just made it because I wanted everybody to have a gift of technology. So
And
I gave it to
what's
everybody.
in the card that makes the iPad work like that?
Well, with augmented reality, anything can be a trigger. So
Okay,
I
then.
made the whole card a trigger. So when I put this over the card...
Hi, my name is Harvey.
And that's not like taking a picture. You don't have to press any button. Anything.
No, it's automatic. And it works
Now,
constantly.
you mentioned Orasma. What's the program?
Orasma
Okay.
is a free
You
app.
have to have it in order for you to have the card working.
Yes, and Orasma is very popular in America, and in Europe, there's a program called Layer. And in Europe, everybody's using that. And you could walk down a street, and you can hold up your iPhone, and all the stores animate, come out and tell you what the special is the day and what they're selling, and it's just an amazing way to go through life. And with Google Glass coming out, it's the same thing. You could look down the street and say, oh, they're having sancocho, and I want that. And you wouldn't know until you look down the street.
You're making me hungry talking about sancocho at this time of the day.
Yes, I just had my first sancocho. It was wonderful. It was absolutely good.
Well, Harvey, you also have a blog that, you have so many information in your blog.
Well, if you don't own what people see, then you lose. So it's very important. I do video blogging because I want people to see exactly what it is, because sometimes when you write, they don't always believe you. But when they see the video of what's going on, it's hard to refute that.
So what you're doing in terms of marketing is mixing the direct marketing with video blogging and the website and
It's called multi-channel marketing. You have to build your mountain on...
But all digital,
It's all digital. Everything I do, digital printing, digital online, using Flickr, using YouTube, just to control what Google sees. So it's very important for companies today to understand that they have to control the Google real estate.
Okay. And back to your blog, how do you blog? How do you blog video blogging?
I use WordPress, again, another free program, and I link from YouTube videos that I make and Flickr, which is a photo sharing site, and I embed the photos and the videos into the WordPress document. So I write a little bit, they see a video, they see the photographs, and it's more real to them.
Now, your blog has been #1 for years. How have you done that? How have you gotten, your blog to be #1 for so many years? And whenever I go to this website or whatever, all the information I get in the first page and the second page belongs to Harvey here.
Oh, the first 15 pages belong to me.
How did you do that?
The secret is, how do you write the headline anticipating the organic search that people would be making in order to find something?
Easy to say.
It's easy to say, but you don't write a headline for the internet search like you write a headline for an advertisement. You have to think that people are going to say, let's say a restaurant, The Manor in West Orange, and you have to include that in the headline.
Okay, well, that's good to know, because we have to go to another commercial break about my magazine. And so many messages. Para todos ustedes tenemos otra recomendación. Ahora que estamos hablando de correo directo y de sistemas directos en el mercadeo y lo digital, porque muy pronto tendremos nuestra revista también en el mundo digital. Por ahora se consigue en nuestra oficina en el 268-2430 o en www.tiempodemercadeo.com para todas las personas que quieren estar actualizadas en el mundo del marketing. Ya regresamos. Harvey, if I ask you, how much do you think the world of marketing is going to be using digital and traditional marketing tools in the near future? What would you say?
Oh, it's growing in leaps and bounds, because the young people today are always using smartphones. They're tweeting, they're sending messages, and the internet has been leveled, because anybody now can get online and be heard. A lot of my videos are seen all over the world, and it doesn't cost me a penny. Once they're up there, if you know how to set the copy and the tags, I get a lot of people in Vietnam watching my Vietnamese food.
Vietnamese food?
I eat all types of food, and you know.
Yeah, even live octopus. Yeah, remember
yes,
that?
you can see me eating live octopus. Now that goes back to 1996 when I was in Korea doing business. And I've eaten all over the world. I happen to think that food is very primal, that it goes back to when we dwelled in caves and we were able to share food. So there's always going to be food involved. I send food out in the mail to people because it makes them happy.
Real food?
Yeah, real food, yes. And one time I sent all this fruit to somebody, and they were away on vacation. When they came back, it was all rotten. And they called me up, and they said, why did you send me rotten fruit?
When
I said, well, it was fresh when I sent it. Yes, you don't want to send ice cream out in the mail, but crackers and cookies. One of the things that I built my company with was, I had a friend of mine dressed like a chef, and he delivered freshly baked apple turnovers to the president of this company at 9 o'clock in the morning so he can have coffee. And in that package that was all wrapped up nice was my card, and it said, "Dear Mr. So-and-so, not all turnovers are as tasty as these, but if you turn over your marketing to me, I will leave you with a good taste in your mouth."
I'm going to do that.
You could do that.
Of course.
And
yeah,
it's so simple. And somebody said, well, how much did that cost you? And I said, it cost me $100. But you know what? If I did it the old-fashioned way, it would cost me $1,200, and I might not get the sale.
I was going to ask about that, the cost of doing this, because doing everything digital and printing and mailing out things like fruits or food or big pieces, doesn't that cost a lot?
In America today, in direct mail, business to business, the average cost is $1.25 an item. If you mail out 10,000 pieces, you've invested $12,500. If you run the national response rate and get back 0.1%, you get back 10 responses that cost you $1,200 a piece. Isn't it cheaper to take somebody out to lunch and spend $60
absolutely.
and talk to them for an hour? Well, essentially, all I do is send them an invitation to lunch. And I follow it up with a phone call because that's multi-channel. And I say, would you like to have lunch so I could show you how this would help your company do more business? And everybody says yes. What do they have to lose?
Now, doesn't your work require a lot of work by copywriters, graphic designers, and many, many more?
Yes, it does. But I do most of the overhaul of the design and the lead-in copy, because I started off as a copywriter and an art director, and it's so important that you can think left brain and right brain. So having your own business, you think like a salesperson, you write like a salesperson, and you motivate the responder to get emotionally involved in the piece. And when you could do that, you can make anything happen.
So what you did and what you do can be done by everybody, no matter where they are.
That's right.
No
Anybody
matter
could
what
do
they
that.
are doing, no
I
matter what.
spoke with the students today, and I said, how bad would it be if you took one sneaker and sent it to a company and said, I only want to get my foot in the door? How bad is that? Does it make them laugh? Yes. Come, let me see what this person can do.
And they have to go there with it.
It's cheap.
Yeah. How have you foreseen the future of marketing?
The future of marketing is going to be personalization. One-to-one marketing is the future.
I wouldn't say it is going to be. I would say is.
It's going to be that way whether you want it to be or not, because in the free enterprise system, every person, every business, every entity is in marketing, public relations, advertising, and sales, whether they want to be or not. They have to decommoditize what they do and stand out from everybody else. And the first people that get into the market with digital and products like this are going to own the market. So when I invented this whole process, I was able to get patents in 8 countries. And I share that knowledge with everybody else because knowledge is only worth something when it is shared.
And what's going to happen today to newspapers, magazines, and television, radio?
The old ways of mass communication are changing rapidly. In America, newspapers are closing, magazines are folding, radio stations are pretty much down to 2 owners at this point because one size, one message, one way of thinking does not fit everybody. And in a newspaper ad, 99% of the people that see it are not your clients. They're not your customers. So with digital, you're able to say, I only have 50 people I can go after. Why should I put a newspaper ad when I can mail them individually 4 or 5 pieces and for under $100 get reactions?
Yeah, but in order for you to get those 50 people that you want to send something to, don't you have to do a lot of research, and that's cost money?
I get on the phone and I get on the internet and I could see who the president, who the marketing director is of a company, and I have their address and I have their telephone
Yeah, but
number.
it doesn't tell you what they like.
Well, I call that company and I say, does Mr. Smith spell his name S-M-Y? And they say, no, it's S-M-I. Oh, does he like the football or the soccer? Oh, no, he's a Giants fan. And the more information I get, the more images I could put into the mailing piece. And I make a mailing piece just for that person. When they get it, they scratch their head. How does this person know what I'm doing? And that emotion goes right to the frontal cortex. So then I call them and I say, I just want to make sure you got what I mailed. And they always get on the phone with me. What's that worth?
Absolutely. Okay, well, our time is up. So we have to say goodbye and thank you very much for being here with me today.
I am very honored that you had me here
And
today.
I'm so glad that you like our city and that you are going to tell your friends in the States that this is much different from what they think.
I'm going to tell my friends and everybody I meet that what I saw in Medellin, we have to do here in America.
Okay, Harvey, thank you very much. Por el momento entonces, desafortunadamente, no podemos seguir, pero queda toda esta inquietud. Y no nos resta sino recordarles a ustedes que el set de Tiempo de Mercadeo fue diseñado por Arcila Design Studio en el... el mejor comunicador directo del mercadeo en el mundo. Estuvo, repito, de visita en nuestra ciudad y lo invitamos a nuestro programa en la noche de hoy. Con él vamos a dialogar dentro de un momentico. Ya volvemos. Harvey, good evening, and it's an honor to have you in my program and to have you in our city.
Oh, it is an honor for me to be here on your program in this wonderful city of Medellin.
I'm glad you are saying that because I'm going to begin by asking you, how have you liked our city?
I have learned so much being in your city. I've learned that social...
Well, thank you, Harvey. I'm glad you are saying that. And now let's talk about marketing.
Marketing.
Yeah. What's new when we talk about direct marketing communications? Because you have some procedures that you have patent, and I'd like you to tell everybody what you have.
Okay. In direct marketing, there's two ways of doing direct marketing. There's the old way, which involves the mass communications theories and technologies of the 60s, which are newspapers, magazines, and television. And then there's the new way, working with databases, learning about your customers and approaching them on a one-to-one marketing basis, because one size does not fit. Programs work when everybody believes in them, that there's a chance for everybody to succeed in Medellin, that the people are just filled with so much warmth and love and kindness, that the whole world has to look at Medellin and try to emulate what they have done.
Did you ever think that you were going to find such a city like Medellin when you were asked to come here for the conference you just dictated?
No. Everybody says, what are you bringing, a gun? What are you bringing, a vest? Where's your bodyguard? Well, I could say that, yes. My heart was kidnapped by the beautiful people of Medellin, and I fell in love with this town and everybody in it.
Muy buenas noches y bienvenidos nuevamente a Tiempo de Mercadeo. Yo soy Carlos Fernando Villa y en esta oportunidad vamos a hacer un programa con un invitado internacional. Hace unos días estuvo en nuestra ciudad Harvey Hirsch. Él es considerado por muchas empresas como el número 1 en el mundo en el manejo de comunicaciones directas en mercadeo. La Xerox Corporation lo ha determinado así y lo ha premiado como...
At all anymore.
Has to be a mix.
It has to be directed at the person that you are looking for. And what I've been experimenting with and testing is the ability to actually create products on demand as you need them by parsing a database. So if you have 100 names and 30 are women, you create the message specifically for women and specifically for men. And you could do that with digital printing today.
With digital printing, you say?
Digital printing is the way of the future.
And how expensive it is?
Digital printing, when you use it correctly, is the most efficient way to get new business.